Devonta Smith is about to come wide open on this deep in-breaking route. Smith released into his route alongside AJ Brown, who is continuing straight downfield into the end zone. Brown draws a deep safety so that Jalen Hurts has a wide open receiver and a clean pocket to pick up another easy big play in the Eagles' offense. But Hurts misreads the coverage. Brown sees the safety coming and stops in his route. He knows that Smith is where the ball should go, but such is the wide receiver's talent that he is able to re-accelerate after slowing down and redirect to position himself underneath the ball as it arrives in the end zone. Hurts threw the ball to the inside thinking he was throwing to open space away from the trailing cornerback. That means the ball favours Minkah Fitzpatrick, but Brown is able to meet the ball at its highest point to secure the touchdown. You don't need to be a great quarterback in this Eagles offense, you just need to be capable. And Jalen Hurts, when he's healthy, is more than just capable. Gardner Minshew collapsed on himself on Sunday against a Saints defense that matches up better to the Eagles offense than any other team in the league because of Marshawn Lattimore. That game will prove to be an aberration in the long run. When Hurts is healthy, this offense can run through the better defenses in the NFL, and Brown is at the centre of why it's so often unstoppable. Brown scored 3 touchdowns in this game against the Steelers, each showing off his ability to win one-on-one in routes and at the catch point. Here we can see him make a contested catch over his shoulder before absorbing the hit from Fitzpatrick. He just runs right by the defender for the score. When Brown was in Tennessee, he played on an offense that emphasised Derrick Henry. The Titans used heavy formations that featured fullbacks and tight ends. The Eagles' spread offense emphasises the wide receiver position more and maximises Brown's impact on the game by creating more space and stretching the defense both horizontally and vertically. The Eagles make decisions based on how their defense sets up against their wide receivers. Brown's third touchdown against the Steelers sees him facing soft press coverage at the top of the screen. It's one-on-one if Hurts holds a deep safety. Since the Steelers blitz and Hurts knows that Brown will win one-on-one, he has an easy read. The throw from the far hash mark is sublimely delivered. The Eagles' base offense features 1 tight end, 1 running back and 3 wide receivers. As such, they always have the flexibility to react to any blitz. On this play against the Tennessee Titans, Hurts can execute a quick play fake and pump fake without taking his eyes away from the coverage. That's because he begins to play in shotgun. At the same time, the running back comes across the formation to create a 6-man wall as protection for the quarterback. The Titans sent a cover 0 blitz here, so Hurts has 3 receivers and a tight end working against single coverage downfield. Brown is wide to his left, and that's instantly where Hurts' eyes go. He knows that's his matchup advantage. Brown doesn't need separation. Part of the reason he's so effective on vertical routes is because he only needs a defender to turn his body so that he can then take command of the catch point, ushering the ball into his chest when he reaches the end zone. The defender can't play the ball before Brown can, and that means he's never going to win this matchup. The defender here is in perfect coverage. Brown is too overwhelming through his combination of athleticism, size, and ball skills. The Chicago Bears recognised this matchup advantage, so they attempted to blitz the Eagles' offense by disguising their coverage. That would mean that Hurts wouldn't be able to immediately recognise where to go with the ball. They do that by showing a cover 2 zone at the snap before then shifting into a cover 1 man call after the snap. The 5th pass rusher is the slot cornerback at the top of the screen. You typically want your quarterback to throw into the blitz, but Hurts doesn't have a hot route here and he can see that nobody will come open on the front side of the play. He looks at the blitz during his drop back before switching his eyes to Brown's side of the field at the top of his drop. He's figured out where to go with the ball very quickly. This is a key difference between him and Minshew. There's no hesitation in Hurts releasing the ball once he knows Brown is in single coverage. His throw is also perfect once again as he drops the ball over Brown's outside shoulder with the cornerback in tight coverage to the inside. Jalen Johnson is the cornerback who covered Brown here. He's one of the better cornerbacks in the NFL, and stylistically, he matches up well with Brown in theory. It didn't matter. Brown still won when given single coverage. Covering Brown one-on-one is largely an impossible task. Trayvon Diggs of the Dallas Cowboys is playing off-man coverage against Brown here. Brown is an elite route runner. He can run every route shown here and do so at a high level. Diggs is shaded slightly to the inside with his starting position, but this is a true one-on-one matchup because the deep safety is too far away to give help. The only help Diggs has here is the sideline. The quick play fake brings the front 7 forward and ensures that Brown has space to run into on a slant route. Diggs plays great coverage here, and Minshew actually makes a good throw, but the difference is Brown's ability to protect the ball at the catch point. His size prevents Diggs from coming around his side to knock the ball away. We can see how Diggs is attached to the receiver when the ball arrived from the end zone angle. On the very next play, the Cowboys play man coverage again and Diggs follows Brown to the opposite side of the field. Now we're going to see how Brown uses the previous play to set Diggs up for a huge gain. Diggs played near perfect coverage on the previous play and gave up the completion still, so you can understand why he's anxious to break even faster to the inside than Brown this time. The Eagles coaching staff anticipate that this will be his thought process and attack it. Brown's route has no wasted motion in it. He didn't miss a step or delay through his break. As such, he found himself wide open against one of the better cornerbacks in the NFL down the sideline. Minshew connects with him, but he doesn't hit him in stride, which is what allows the defense to recover and prevent the touchdown. When the ball placement isn't perfect on possession routes, such as this play against the Arizona Cardinals, Brown will create enough separation at the top of his route and then offer his quarterback a huge margin for error with his catch radius. This ball is too high, but Brown just pulls it in as if it was thrown directly into his stomach. When Hurts is in, the Eagles don't get elite quarterback play, but they do get above average quarterback play. And in this offense, that makes the unit as a whole almost unstoppable. Hurts is a good passer, but critically he's also a very dangerous runner. This makes it even more difficult for defenses to play man coverage or blitz because of Hurts' escapability and the Eagles' willingness to incorporate him into designed runs. That forces defenses to become more predictable and rely on zones more than they want to. Here the Tennessee Titans show quarters coverage before the snap and drop into quarters coverage after the snap. The disguise in response to the motion is good, but the defense still shows its hand early in the play. As the play develops, we can see how the tight end draws a double team over the middle. The deep safety on the right side is drawn forward, clearing the space in behind him and leaving the receiver outside one-on-one. This is where Hurts' eyes are, and that's how he makes his read on the play. But before we get to the throw, let's look at the rest of the defense. Both of Hurts' underneath routes are taken away by defenders with leverage. AJ Brown is down the right sideline running a deep in-breaking route. He's drawing the other safety, so he's double teamed as well. That means the Titans have successfully double teamed the Eagles' number one receiver and their tight end. That's a win for the defense in theory. Yet, in practice, they still wind up with a huge matchup disadvantage because Devonta Smith will roast every second starter at cornerback in the league when he's not given any help. Hurts' ball is slightly underthrown, but Smith makes the adjustment and still reaches the end zone. In the same game, the Titans more aggressively double team Smith and the tight end to leave Brown in single coverage. The result is predictably the same as the previous play. You can't really blame defensive coordinators no matter what they try against this Eagles offense. There are simply too many weapons for them to try and contain, and not every team has a Marshawn Lattimore. Smith is a perfect complement to Brown as a number 2 receiver. He's actually a very similar receiver to Brown in terms of skill set, but his body type is very different, so he wins in slightly different ways. Where Brown catches the ball underneath and accelerates into a powerful runner, Smith catches the ball underneath and relies a little bit more on his speed and quickness rather than his power. Smith is 6 foot and roughly 170 pounds, whereas Brown is 6'1", roughly 225 pounds. Smith offsets the difference in size between the two by making full use of his length at the catch point. He's a more acrobatic receiver, so his wins against tight coverage or on poorly placed balls will often look more spectacular while creating the same result. From the quarterback's perspective, the slight stylistic differences between Smith and Brown are largely irrelevant. He gets the same benefits of a wider catch radius and a receiver who will create large windows of separation at different levels of the field. On this play, you can see Hurts slightly underthrows the ball, so Smith has to slow down and adjust back to the ball in the air. That puts him in between the safety and the cornerback while he leaps to reach the ball above both defenders. It's an incredible play on a ball that deserved to be intercepted more than it deserved to be completed. Prior to this play against the Colts, Brown had just called a crossing route before turning up the sideline to gain 29 yards. The Colts didn't want that to happen again, so they shifted their coverage in Brown's direction, leaving Smith one-on-one with half of the field to work in instead. Smith wins on this occasion by running a precise route. The defender has to aggressively run inside to stop the slant, so he's out of position when Smith breaks back outside. He then turns upfield for a 12-yard gain and another first down. From the end zone angle, we can see that Hurts actually misses the throw to the inside slightly. Not only does Smith still catch the ball, he adjusts his whole body so that he turns in the opposite direction and can square up the defender without losing leverage to run after the catch. It's a very smooth and subtle movement that makes the play work in spite of the quarterback's slight imprecision. So long as Smith is there to make these plays, there won't be a way to stop Brown on the opposite side of the field. At least, there won't be a way unless the backup quarterback is forced to play again and he completely collapses on himself the way Minshew did against the Saints. But don't expect that to happen again.